Hey folks, welcome back. This is Chris in Central Pennsylvania, and this is a rather disturbing YouTube video that's appeared in the past number of hours, and the slimy things coming out of this gentleman's mouth, a music producer in South Africa. If this doesn't get an equality charge from the South African Human Rights Commission, what will? Let's listen in as he's interviewed here on the Hustlers podcast.
Unfortunately, by the strictest definition of what a human being is, white people are just below human beings.
I just hate stupid people. They should have to wear signs that just say, I'm stupid.
White women cannot carry births the same way black women can. They're inferior in that way.
That way you wouldn't rely on them, would you? You wouldn't ask them anything. Be like, excuse me. Oh, never mind.
When you look at the white population shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, for us it makes no sense to descend into the savagery that they have.
Savagery.
I didn't say your sign.
You know, so they're on the last generation. We're dealing with the weakest whites that the world has ever seen.
Really? The weakest whites.
Here's your sign.
We've got different categories of evolution of apes. You know what I mean? If we are all apes, we are at the echelon of that.
Are you?
Whites are a step below because they've also got Neanderthal DNA.
Did he just say that? Did he just say that? Wow.
You are negotiating with an animal, a wild dog that you're trying to train to be tamed, to be upopi.
White people are animals? They're wild dogs? That's what he's saying? Wow.
They don't, because they're incapable of that. You cannot expect the same behavior of a human being that you're expecting of a dog.
Wow. Racist much, buddy?
Being smarter. We need to start understanding what we're dealing with. Because we're not dealing with a who. We're dealing with a what.
A what? So white people are what? They're not Homo sapiens. Wow.
You understand? And when we deal with this what of savages, because that's their history.
Savages. Listen to this clown. Savages. What do you know about savages?
Everywhere in the world, white people have gone and progressed. They've progressed because of savagery.
Stupid people should wear signs. That way you wouldn't ask them questions.
They've killed people. They've decimated populations everywhere, around the entire globe. There's not a place where the sun shines that white people have not decimated the people.
Here's your sign, Junior.
Now, we're dealing with a situation right now where America is panicking. How do we know they're panicking? Because there's an 8-week-long queue at the Bank of England for Americans trying to withdraw their gold.
8-week-long queue. There's no queue at the Bank of England, and it's not our gold.
The final sanctions were removed in November 1993, which is only after Chris Hani was dead. So they needed to make sure that Chris Hani is dead first before they can fully remove all the sanctions.
We had to kill Chris Hani to remove sanctions. Makes no sense whatsoever.
All these things were being told to us. Oh yeah, South Africa is supposed to last until 30 years. What happens after 30 years? All of a sudden, we're now being treated as a pariah.
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
And that's what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you send students off to school who are taught in black supremacy and black revolutionary theory. This is the nonsense that they spew. Unbelievable. How this does not get before the South African Captured Human Rights Commission would be beyond me. They're going after Ronaldo Khuz over an academic video in which he made a point. This guy can't even argue that he's making a point. He's arguing that evolutionary white people are a step below black people. Really? Then how do we intermix? How did you get so light-skinned there, hero? Are you coy? Good Lord. This, unfortunately, is a view of a large portion of educated elites. This is how they think of other human beings. And this will get downplayed. It won't be covered in the South African media. It won't even be talked about. And this guy here has been accused of rape, credibly. The charge was dismissed, was withdrawn. And he's also been put in prison for contempt of court. So-called music producer. Wow. Really? Never mind, we'll go into the fact you saw, but this is the last generation whites are dying out. The white population of South Africa in 1911 in the first formal census for the Union of South Africa was 1 million whites. Despite mass emigration out of the country over the past 30 years by whites, coloreds, and blacks, white South Africans stay number 4.8 million. which is higher. But you see the faulty logic of idiots like this moron who think because whites are a smaller percentage of the population that they're declining in number is pathetic. Whites are not declining in population. They're stagnant or not growing because of immigration. But they're not shrinking. There's 4.8 million white people today. That's more than there were in 1994 and 5 times as many as there were in 1911. The difference is the number of black South Africans has grown exponentially from 3 million, 4 million over a century ago to a number today exceeding 43 million people. That's the difference. And of course, that's owing in no small measure to mass in-migration from neighboring states and around the continent and reproduction. So people like this are just scary. This is allowed on YouTube, what this guy said. Unbelievable. And where is the South African government? Where are the politicians condemning this? Where is the Twitter war? There's actually people supporting this and have no trouble putting their name on that on the YouTube channel where this appeared. Shocking, to say the least. How do you deal with people like this when they think other people are dogs? How do you deal with people like this who treat other people as subhuman and spew nonsense? Apparently he's never met Ukrainian women or Dutch women who are quite hardy and have quite large bums and wide birthing hips. The white population's declining. The white population of America in 1964 was about 125 million. Today it's 235 million. That's not a decline. That's a significant increase. The difference is we let lots of people in this country who weren't white, people of color. And so the percentage of whites have declined precipitously from 89% to 75% and dropping from there because this is a nice country and people want to come here. What say you folks? Cheers.